Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for this live stream. And of course, this is the World Cup semi final preview. We're just 57 minutes away from that big game and almost 30 minutes away from that big toss as well. I have Sai joining me. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of nervous jitters all across the country at this point because everyone knows the semi final has been Indian team's biggest hurdle. So you just don't want to cross that, and you want to cross that in some fashion heading into that final. I have Sai joining me. Sai, what a big game this is, and how nervous are you?
Yeah, actually, till yesterday, I wasn't feeling that much kind of nervous or that much kind of anxiety. But now, from this morning, it's going to be really tough to even go for the game, like watch the game as a Jordan fan or normal fan. It's not going to be easy, right? It's going to be difficult to watch the whole game ball by ball and to control our emotions, to control the excitement. So yeah, really excited to see. To be honest, toss is the one. Firstly, that we have to kind of win the toss, and then eventually we have to win the game.
Absolutely. Kundan Verma says, "Come on, India! Yeah, we all are in for this, Kundan. I mean, we're all super excited about it. But yeah, let's just talk about today's game. Is there's a lot of talk outside already about the pitch, a used pitch which is gonna be played out today. It was supposed to be a pitch number 7, which should have been used before this game, but then yesterday there was a change in pitch and a lot of havoc which has been created outside by the media for a used pitch. The former cricketers, journalists, a lot of people have come out saying that a used pitch in a World Cup knockout shouldn't be there, but there is no ICC rule which says that a used pitch shouldn't be given as well. So the biggest question or all the rumors which is going around is should India play Ashwin because it's a used pitch, because the same pitch was used for the India versus Sri Lanka game and the South Africa versus England game. Both were high scoring affairs, batting first, but batting second teams really struggled under the under lights for seam bowling. But if it's a used pitch, almost what close to 200 overs of cricket being played there, but let's just say not 200, but you can say 170 odd overs because Sri Lanka did not bat really well, and even England did not. So even it comes down to 150 maybe at times. So how do you see this? To be very honest, when it comes to this particular affair of game, firstly, to start off with, a used pitch, and do you see any changes because it's a used pitch?
Yeah, I mean that's true. That even if it is a used pitch, that's fine. There is nothing to worry about it because even if it's a fresh pitch, then we don't know how it's going to be, right? We don't know how the pitch will behave later the game on. So now it's a huge pitch, so both the teams will have their plans on. They do have their strategies on, and yeah, for the second innings, so none of the team will try to chase it down because we know what happened in the previous 2 3 games on the used pitch. So both the teams will try to bat first. Their priority will be to bat first, and I feel it is a good thing that we have used pitch because we know how the trend has been. Right, if it is complete fresh pitch, then it can be a kind of a upset for both the teams. So I feel it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree for that. But now the biggest question is a lot of media reports and everywhere it's going that Ashwin, I know, the off spinner should be included in it. And Ashwin is the name which is going around quite a lot, circling around since morning. You reckon there is any need to bring in a change at this point of stage in the team? Because you had an option to make a change in the Netherlands game, you did not. And, as of what you have done so far in this World Cup, you don't want to make a change because this is the best team which has done well for the last 5 matches, and you've won in a dominating manner in the last 5 matches as well. So, do you really consider any change at all happening in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel it because uh, if you want to experiment something, then that has to be done in the group stage, not now. Because now it's all about your hard work and whatever struggle, hard work, preparation you have to do, it's already gone in the group stage. So now I don't feel you have to do any changes. You have to kind of do any experiments. Go with the same 11, and I feel that the team will do for sure. They won't try to disturb the momentum. They won't try to disturb the kind of lineup they have. So they will go for the same 11.
I agree with you. I mean, that's a good point as well. They want to go in with the same 11, considering the fact that that's a team which has done well, and knowing Rohit Sharma is a player who doesn't like to tinker a lot. But let's just talk about today's game in terms of how these two teams have come, right? And I will look at some data to start out with as to how these two teams have performed so far in this World Cup and leading into this game as well. If you look, Indian team, they've had a good time, especially batting in the power play, and that's primarily because of what Rohit Sharma has given us. And in the middle overs as well, we have not lost a lot of wickets. But in the other end of things, New Zealand has been one team who's not really had the best of power plays. But if you look, the middle overs has been really good. Likes of Rachin Ravindra, likes of Darren Mitchell, they really get going in the middle overs and even towards the latter end in the depth as well. That really helps them to get a very good flourish towards the latter end. Uh, and if you look at the bowling, obviously India's power play bowling with Bumrah up there, it's really tough to get him away, and that's one of the reasons why India's power play and even the middle overs and with death has been extremely strong. And even New Zealand, they've leaked a lot of runs in the power play, but that's also because in the latter end after without Matt Henry and that Pakistan game has really affected that particular figure here. Now let's just talk about the side. How do you see India's power play batting change? Because today the eyes will be on Rohit Sharma to put pressure on Trent Bolt. And you know that, and we all know that the moment Trent Bolt is attacked, the opposition team really gets in some bit of trouble. And that's been New Zealand's case in this World Cup. Because if Trent Bolt doesn't get wickets, then they're looking for options here and there because he's their trump card bowler without Matt Henry in the team.
Yeah, I mean that's true because he's the one. He's the kind of the frontline bowler they have, and it's all about him how he performs in the first 10 overs. If you look closely, they do leak huge amount of runs in the power play, which is around 6 runs per over. And if you are leaking around 60 runs in the power play, that's not a great sign, right? And this is a job of Trent Bolt. He have to perform in the power play because if he comes later, even in the middle overs or in the death overs, he's not that much effective as compared to power play because he is kind of a swing bowler and he have the ability to knock down the opponent in the power play phase. But if you talk about middle overs and death overs, he is not that much up to the mark if you compare with Indian bowlers. Indian bowlers are more over seamers, so they do not need to kind of lie on swing initially. So that's why they have the ability to maintain the economy rate all throughout the innings in throughout the
Yeah,
different phases. So
yeah,
that's pretty important for him, if for sure. And to be honest, it's Wankhede, so the trend has been that at least couple of wickets teams do concede in the power play in both the
yeah,
innings. So yeah, that will happen. At least one for sure will happen. But if
yeah.
we lose two, then it's the kind of efforts that the bowlers are putting in.
If you look, New Zealand as well, they're one of the biggest strength has been over the years taking wickets in power play. But post Matt Henry's departure, or even this World Cup being Indian conditions, they've not really had that impact in the power play as much as they like to have. But their middle overs has been pretty strong. That's primarily because of what Mitchell Santner has done with this team. And Mitchell Santner is their leading wicket taker. If you look at the stats, he's had that extra bit of leap, especially the first 3-4 matches where he really took that upper jump, picking up those first 10 wickets quickly. But here, 16 wickets in 9 games, economy of 4.81, average of 24. Right behind him is Trent Bolt, and then there's Lockie Ferguson, who's had a decent World Cup as well. But if you look at the other end of things for New Zealand, if you just look at the way in which how they've gone about it, you have to say, one big factor about this team is also that their middle overs bowling, right? They've had that fair share of success in restricting teams and in able to, defend those targets because of this wicket taking ability. There's no Isodi in this team, but Glenn Phillips and whoever has done that fifth and sixth bowling option, whichever they've used, they've really bowled well, complementing a Mitchell Santner.
Yeah, I mean that's the team they have, and even they have only limited options, kind of a full-time options. But if you look for the part-time options, they're also doing well, right? Like,
Yeah,
and now the likes of Kohli and Rohit in the last game, maybe we can expect that thing as well because they are also quality bowlers in terms of part-timers, right? So yeah, means that's the strength New Zealand have. That let's take if they have someone's bad day or kind of a bad spell, then they can cover it up using the part timers. So that's that kind of ability, a kind of feature, additional feature they have in their lineup, and that's the advantage for them, to be honest.
yeah,
And I personally feel For Rachin and Phillips, those are two kind of a weakling they have as well, because if we want to target someone, we cannot target all the five full-time bowlers, right? We have to target one of them from Rachin or Phillips in order to get some runs, because we cannot target Sadner a lot. We cannot target
Yeah,
Bolt a lot initially. Afterwards, we can, but initially, the main goal of initial phase should be to survive as compared to look for the runs, because you can imagine if Rohit is batting for 15 overs, then imagine how what kind of damage he can make in the rest of the 35
yeah,
overs, right?
yeah.
So the first goal should be to survive initially, even though we have around 30 runs in the 10 overs. That's fine. Afterwards, we can kind of convert that into a big score. So that should be the goal, I feel, and that should be the approach they will try to maintain.
Yeah. But to be very honest, I'll have to tell you one big thing. That is about India's batting order as well. That is about having that big advantage at number four, number five. If you look at the 2019 World Cup, one big issue which we had was a combination of four players having scored 268 runs, right? I mean, that was a big difference to what we have right now. Shreyas Iyer scoring close to 421 runs. Then you have a KL Rahul who has done really well. So this is where you have to be very honest with the way in which how you have played. I mean, the biggest advantage which India has is that they've got that confidence in the middle order in this particular World Cup in comparison with 2019. We all go back to 2019 and that one bad hour or one bad half an hour which we had, and that really triggered in the collapse, and that really triggered in us losing that semi final. But that's not the case this time around. We've got a very strong middle order. Then we've got a Surya Kumar Yadav coming in at number six who can turn a game on its head on a given day, and you got Ravindra Jadeja as well. So that's been India's biggest benefit. Now you have a Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli who has always scored runs, but the Shreyas Ayer, KL Rahul factor has been the biggest difference, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's completely true. Because if you look for the 2015 squad, 2019 squad, do you really think that that was a winning squad? No, because we do have some weakness in 2015 as well, in the 2019 as well. But in this squad, it's extremely difficult to find out the weakness, right?
Yeah,
For the first couple of games, we were talking about Ayer, the kind of a small weakness we have, but now he has turned out to be a great strength of ours, right? So that's the kind of a game they're playing. It's not winning games, they're not just winning, they're dominating the stage in such a way that no team is close to us, right? For the first five games, I guess we have chased it down, all the totals, with 8 wickets in hand, 7 wickets in hand, and with I guess only New Zealand gave us a fight around 4 or 6 wickets in hand. We chased it
yeah,
down. Then for the remaining four games, we won it completely by defending the total, more than 100 plus runs difference, and even sometimes it was beyond 200 run difference as well,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's not just we are winning the game; we are dominating the stage in such a way that we cannot imagine this kind of performance by this team. Keeping in mind about 2015 performance, 2019 performance, there also we dominated that, but still we do had some kind of weaklings where we were quite of confusing, kind of
yeah.
confused about the winning probability about them. But now it's certain that we know this is the team who deserve to win the cup.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you've ticked almost every box possible there, and you just want to keep going from here on. But if you look at India's bowling as well, the bowling chart has been extremely impressive for Team India. Now, we don't talk about Ravindra Jadeja enough because we've got a bowling lineup which has Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah who's taken a lot of limelight, and rightfully so. And we also give credit to Kuldeep Yadav as our main spinner. I know that 5 wicket haul against South Africa did inflate that bowling figures. Or the stats? What you see, but economy of 3.97, average of 18.25, a finger spinner in this World Cup. We talk about Mitchell Santner. We have to give equal amount of credit to Ravindra Jadeja, who's been phenomenal. I mean, he's been exceptional in this World Cup with the ball on the field and with the bat as well at times. And he's been one of India's MVP after we've lost Hardik Pandya to that injury.
Yeah, that's completely true, because you can see how many spinners you name out, they can replicate this kind of figures in India, bowling in due in second innings, right? Because the last five games, I guess four games, we bowled second. We defended that. And in all those games, Jadeja was a standout player in terms of spin department. And our spinners have the ability to spin the game in the due itself. So how many spinners you can name it out? Very less, right?
Yeah,
So that's how the impact they have, even though it's first innings. First innings is quite easy for the spinners, to be honest. But for the second innings, under the dew, with that pitch conditions and with the quality of opponents we have in the tournament, it's completely outstanding. Right.
yeah,
And some bowlers for some teams, they have only one or two kind of outstanders where they have 15 plus wickets, 20 plus wickets, and rest of them bowlers were under 10 wickets. But this team, all the bowlers have equal wickets because all the players, all the bowlers took equal amount of wickets. That's why
yeah.
Kuldeep and Jadeja
I
got
mean, we're
a
talking
bit
about
hidden.
Mohammad Siraj, who's possibly not been the best in this list, but he's picked up 12 wickets himself. So that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about, right? Mohammad Siraj picked up
So
12 wickets in this World Cup, and he's been not the best of the five, right? He's, if you put Mohammad Salah, he's been at the fifth position when it comes to the wickets taken or with the economy rate as well. But he's picked up 12 wickets. He's been very important in picking up those power play wickets for us. And that's been India's strength. So you don't want to tinker anything at this point. Or we've got a question asking who's going to be the X factor player today. Very interesting question because in a game like this, it's that one player who can come in and change as well. Though you need to perform as a team, that one big knock could possibly make a lot of difference.
yeah, I feel it will be Siraj for sure because if you look about fast bowler, the role of a fast bowler is to take early wickets, right? To be honest, I feel Shine have around 20 wickets, right? And
Yeah,
how many wickets he took in the power play, or how many wickets he took above the top order, one, two, three? It's hardly 2 or 3 wickets, to be honest,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
He took around 90% of the wickets in the lower order, right? And those wickets are not worth it, to be honest. But Siraj do have 12 wickets, but around 50% of the wickets he took in the power play. 50% wickets are from the top orders, right? So that's the impact we are looking for. And to be honest, he will be kind of X factor for today. If it took Conway or the quality openers initially in the first 10 to 15 overs, then his work is done already done, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, you are right in pointing out about Siraj because I feel a ground like Mumbai will really help him because it does swing and seam around quite a lot in the second innings, and that's one of the reasons why he did perform well against Sri Lanka in that ground. And if you look, if you give Siraj any bit of movement of the surface, he's going to really pounce on it. And it depends if he's going to ball in second innings. I think he's going to be lethal for Team India. If he's going to be one player who's going to really make a lot of difference. I've got another question. What's the reason behind excessive swing in the second innings? That's a very interesting theory behind it. Now,
Yeah.
if you look at Wankhede, it's situated very near to the Marine Drive. Now, if you look at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on a normal day in Mumbai or near Wankhede, the sea breeze is not as much as what you get during the twilight period. Now, you have to keep in mind few factors here. Number one is the twilight period. Now, we talk about that in the test matches as well, in the pink ball test matches, how it is hard to bat under twilight period. Secondly, the sea breeze which comes in from the Marine Drive, and thirdly, there's another very interesting theory. Some of the Mumbai legends have often spoken about it because of the surface underneath it is very close to the sea levels. The high tide and low tide in Mumbai really matters a lot when it comes to moisture settling in under the surface. If you look prior to this, prior to all this was all under the seabed. So one reason why you have moisture setting in when during a high tide day, moisture sets in a lot more in Brabon or Wankhede, due to which ball does tend to swing around quite a lot in that twilight period. Now, moisture settles in that 6:37 in the twilight period. That's when the high tide and low tide also hits in. Now, secondly, when we compare it with an IPL game starts at 7:38, and there's a lot of dew by the time the IPL game starts. That's in peak summers. The condensation is a lot more, and dew settles in a lot more earlier. By the time second innings teams come in, dew is already there, and the batting becomes so much more easier. But that 1 hour period from 6:30 to 7:30 in under lights where it's just twilight, the or floodlights are just taking over. It's really hard to bat because twilight, moisture settling in, sea breeze, and no dew. But after 7:45, a lot of teams haven't really gone past it. The batting does get easier. So if you survive that 1 hour, you'll have to really make sure you capitalize on it, because that 1 hour is going to be extremely hard to bat on. And if you look at a lot of teams chasing, one of the reasons why average score has been 188 for sevens, batting second, is primarily because teams have collapsed in that 1 hour. The games don't go beyond that 1 hour, and it's really tough for a number seven to come in and help the ship to move on by the time that collapse has already taken place. So that's why a lot of people say bat first and make use of that 1 hour. Though you might be able to capitalize, but then you always are in a risk that you're putting in yourself, right? What if you get a collapse? And India against New Zealand are more susceptible to that, given the past record. So as a captain, Sai, if you have to put a captain's hat on you, would you have you as a consideration, or would you just say use pitch, Wankhede, we don't want any bit of trouble. Let's just bat first, put the runs on the board. Come what may, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan everyone should have. That this is a stage that all the teams look forward, that they have to be part of this game, semi-final game, and now you are in the game, so don't take any risk or don't do extra activities. Stick to the process, take it simple, make it simple. If you win the toss, bat first, put the total around 280 plus, it's already done. If you do it 280 plus, around 60% game is already in your hand. Now it's all about the second innings first 10 overs. If you get 2 wickets in the 10 overs, around 80% is already done. Right. So that's
Yeah,
the roadmap or the kind of a blueprint they should follow.
yeah,
And let's take what will be the worst case. The worst case will be we are chasing the total. That will be the worst case, to be honest. If
yeah,
we
yeah,
are chasing the total, the only thing we can do is to survive the first 10 to 15 overs.
yeah,
And in that, if we lose 1 wicket, that's fine. And if we get only 30 runs in 15 overs, that's completely fine, because the rest 35 overs are there. You can capitalize on that. We do have
yeah,
the quality middle order where we can believe, we can have faith on them. Initially, it was like if top two or top three gone, then we know that the middle order will collapse
yeah,
somehow. But now we have the faith, we do have the confidence in the middle order, even though in the first 10 to 15 overs, Rohit gone, Virat gone, not both, but any one gone, still we can achieve it because we do have middle order very strong. And
and
Jadeja
that
is
also
there.
gives confidence for the openers and the top order. Now, in 2019 World Cup, you had the thing, oh, what if we both are out? The middle order is going to be set exposed. But that kind of pressure is not there on this top order at this point, and that's the biggest change. As I mentioned earlier, that'll also, you know, enable them to play a lot more free, enable them to put or impose pressure on the strike ball of the opposition team. If you look at India's pattern in this World Cup, they have looked to target the strike ball of the opposition team. That's primarily because of the trust which Rohit Sharma has gotten as middle order, and it's his middle order has delivered. It's just not the trust. They've repaid the trust in terms of the performance they've showed. Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, for the matter, even Surya in that game against England, and Ravindra Jadeja as well. We all thought he had a very bad time with the bat, but he has stepped in with his cameos every now and then. So I think that's really helped Rohit Sharma to play a lot more free. Though we are slightly handicapped with our batting till number seven, and we don't have a batter at number eight, but that's not really put a lot of pressure. I mean, we've still gone with the same approach.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty great observation because if you have seen Rohit's approach, its approach is only to capitalize the first 10 to 15 overs, right? His approach has been in the whole tournament is to capitalize the first 10 to 15 overs. After that, if he gets out, that's fine, and that's why he has the highest kind of impact in the power play, and that's the role he have kind of approached a lot, rather than getting there, rather than staying on the crease for the longer term. That's not he's looking for. He's looking to impact the 10-15 overs, job done, then that's fine. The middle order and the lower order will do the job for the rest of the 30-35 overs. So that
Yeah,
has been the role given to Rohit due to the strength and middle order we have, right? And to be
yeah,
honest, one thing to mention for the fantasy point of view, that and also from the Indian point of view, never outreach Jadeja against New Zealand, because he's always been there, even though it's bilateral one day or T20 or any game against New Zealand. Jadeja for sure will be the standout player
and he's
with
done
the
well in
bat,
Wankhede
with
if
the
you look
ball.
as well.
Yeah, and always he does it always for the team against New Zealand.
And he's
and
a big
he
match player.
know.
Let's be honest, he's a big match player. He has the temperament to deliver in a big occasion. It's just not 2019 final, semi final I'm talking about. He always delivers when it matters the most in big matches, let it be IPL or let it be in Indian team. And I think we have to have that eye in for Ravindra Jadeja. I think he's going to be an X factor for Team India, considering the fact how he has troubled some of the New Zealanders over the time. He's going to be very lethal against the likes of Kane Williamson or even against Devin Conway, because he'd know how Devin Conway plays because he spent a lot of
Yeah,
time with him. And alongside Ravindra Jadeja, another bowler could be Kuldeep Yadav as well, because Kuldeep has troubled New Zealand over the years in the last 6 years. Though he's got a biggest weapon that he can take the ball in and away, and if Kuldeep gets any bit of help and bounce off the surface, he's going to be lethal. I mean, though you can say Mumbai, spinners have not really done well here, but Kuldeep Yadav is one bowler who can turn the ball on any surface, and I think that's going to be India's biggest strength leading into this game. I think we've covered almost every bit of it, and we're reaching very near to the toss. So a lot of viewers will also be focusing on that right now. So we'll end the live stream right here. Thank you all for joining. It was a pleasure to interact, and not just that, to share our insights on the game and what you should be doing from a fantasy perspective, how you should be really looking into this game as well. Hope India wins the toss, or if India doesn't as well, hope India wins this game. That's the most important thing, what we have in our minds. And all of you enjoy the game, and we'll join you very soon, hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.